What's up guys, Bloodburger here. In this video we're going to be taking a look at Platinum Games' Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. In a bold departure away from the previous Metal Gear games, Kojima Productions wanted to take a more action-oriented approach to their beloved series. Does it work out, or do fundamental design and gameplay issues keep it from being all it can be? Let's find out. Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, published by Kojima Productions and developed by Platinum Games, takes place 4 years after Metal Gear Solid 4: Guns of the Patriots. In an attempt to give the dev team a little bit more flexibility with the series' design, Kojima Productions decided to move away from the stealth action and gunplay elements of previous Metal Gear games in favor of an action-based hack and slasher. In Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, you take on the role of Raiden, a character which most Metal Gear fans should already be acquainted with. For those who aren't, however, he is a highly advanced cyborg ninja who now works as a high-profile bodyguard to ambassadors and presidents the world over. On one of his missions, an African prime minister is abducted by a private military company known as Desperado, and Raiden is badly injured during the rescue attempt, refitted with new and more powerful armor, and sets out to seek revenge. Raiden has several tools and abilities at his disposal. His primary weapon is his katana, which can be used to slice through gears and other foes like hot butter. He also has access to several sidearms as well. These include an assortment of grenades, homing missiles, and RPGs. Raiden is also given the ability to ninja run. This allows him to leap over and under obstacles, deflect gunfire, and hop from enemy to enemy at the touch of a button. Lastly, there is Blade Mode. By pulling the trigger on your controller, Raiden will enter a focus mode where time slows down, and he is literally able to slice and dice his enemies, revealing parts that restore health and offer him BP. These are points which allow Raiden to upgrade his armor and weapons, as well as unlock new secondary weapons as they become available. While the game definitely steers itself towards an action hack and slasher, there are times where stealth is absolutely necessary. In these cases, Raiden is able to use cardboard boxes and oil drums to sneak around undetected and dispatch his foes from behind. While these things are all great and offer some replay value and variety to the game, they are overshadowed by the atrocious third-person camera. It pops, autocorrects, and changes focus at the most inopportune times. Couple this with the challenging boss mechanics and a lack of power-ups when you desperately need them, and you have a somewhat challenging game that becomes nearly impossible at times. Gameplay is fast and furious, and Metal Gear fans that miss their stealth and sneakiness definitely have that option. However, the aforementioned camera issues really spoil the experience late game. For that reason, I'm giving Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance a 2.5 out of 5 for gameplay. The visuals in Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance are far and away its greatest asset. The attention to detail given to the main characters is simply stunning at times. The cyborg armor sets are incredibly detailed. Backgrounds are intense and help add a sense of tension to the fights. Pre-rendered cutscenes aren't perfect quality, but that's really just a nitpick. The opponents look good, and the gears are sometimes menacing and huge. Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance is a good looking game. For that reason, I'm giving it a 4 out of 5 for visuals. While the visuals in Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance shine, I can't really say the same thing about the audio. Sound effects are mostly generic. The voice acting is average.
Check. Blood pressure, brain waves, blood sugar. Check, check, check.
And dialogue is mostly corny.
They build another. They're planning something big, Kev. We can't just wait for it to happen.
Codec chatter and cutscenes seem to drag on and on endlessly. Thankfully, however, they can be skipped. The audio in Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance just isn't very impressive. 2.5 out of 5. I can see what Kojima Productions and Platinum Games were trying to achieve here, but there are issues that keep this game from being better. The number one offender is the camera. It's really bad enough to keep this game from being enjoyable. Offender number 2 is the pacing of the game. A trademark of the Metal Gear franchise is the long-winded and drawn-out dialogue. This might have worked in previous titles, but when you're working with action, things need to keep moving in a fast-paced direction. 30 seconds to a minute of dialogue between fights really stifle the delivery of the action. I feel as though this game would benefit greatly from a sequel, to maybe right the wrongs and correct the glaring weaknesses. Until then, Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance receives a 2.5 out of 5. To see Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance in action for yourself, subscribe to my sister channel BFG for a complete playthrough. I'm Bloodburger. Thanks for watching.